Hi friends, welcome to Mountain Ridge Homestead. My name is Colleen, and today I wanted to talk to you about what it's like homesteading with a chronic illness. I have fibromyalgia, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically comes from the central nervous system, and it's your brain always telling your body that you're in pain. I'm constantly in pain. It's your muscles and your joints, and it affects every part of your body from head to toe. In some places more than others, but basically anywhere all the time. Some people can go into a bit of a remission and then they have flare-ups. I unfortunately pretty much have it all the time. And then at other times it gets even worse than the daily norm. But I pretty much have it always. And by looking at me, you can't tell. No one can tell. Pretty much only close family and friends know that I have it, and now you. But I just wanted to share what it was like to go through this journey of homesteading and how I manage, what I do, the little tips and tricks that I have that help me along the way. And sometimes things get done. Sometimes they get done very slowly. Sometimes they don't get done at all. And how I prioritize what needs to be done and when it gets done. So I was diagnosed about 12 or 13 years ago, and I have seen so many doctors. I have been to pain clinics. I've seen different specialists. I've been on so many different medications. I've tried them all, and pretty much all they've done is make me gain a lot of weight that I can't get off. I guess some have given me a bit of relief. I've tried like prescription medications, natural medications, all kinds of things, but nothing really works. And I've just over the years learned to listen to my body, how to deal with it, rest when I need. Part of the homesteading journey was that if I ate healthy or healthier, that would hopefully help heal my body. So growing our own food and processing our own food, I was hoping made a difference. I don't think it really has, but I also look at it like, well, it couldn't hurt. I can't imagine it being worse. So eating healthy is still a huge priority. We rarely eat out. That would be a big treat. And I enjoy growing, cooking, and preserving our own food. So when I say I'm in pain, I don't mean, oh, my back hurts a bit, or, you know, my knees are sore. That happens too, like that happens, but I mean, I'm in pain. Like some days I think it would knock a grown big hurly man down. Like pain I can't describe. Curl up in your bed and rock back and forth, crying pain. And it affects so much of your life, mentally, obviously, physically, emotionally, socially. It encompasses so much. Fibromyalgia is so widespread in the scope of medicine that it's just devastating. But like I said earlier, I've learned to live with it. I make tips and tricks just to get through my daily life, never mind part of the homesteading life. But for homesteading, I've made it work for me. For gardening, I found little things that make it easier for me. Like, you know, those little chairs or those little stools that when you go for a pedicure that the little girls sit on with the little wheels. I use that in my garden. I sit down when I go to pick beans or play with my tomato plants, and I sit on that and I can scoot and roll myself along. And I use a ski pole to help me get up and down. There's just little things like that that help me along the way. And sometimes I can last in the garden half an hour, and sometimes I'll last a couple of hours. Sometimes I go for an hour and I come in and rest for an hour. But gardening is my passion. Since I was a little girl, I've always loved gardening. It's good for me physically, it's good for emotionally, but it's mentally, it's where I go to find myself, to lose myself, for peace, it's everything to me. That's what gets me through the winter. And then the blessing on top of that is to have all the bounty, the harvest. And in the last 5 years, when we started our homestead journey, is when I've learned to preserve our food in so many ways, and it gives us our food all year long. Gardening is everything to me, and if it's what I need to get through every day, it's even more of a blessing on top of that. So obviously I couldn't do this alone. There's no way, because if I'm having a really bad day, there's many things I can't do. And my husband plays a huge part in that. He's the one that mostly 99% on a daily basis, he does the animal chores, because mornings are my worst, and he's the one that gets up to do the animals, let the chickens out, the geese. He does the feeding. The odd time I'll do it, but he's the one who does most of that. He's the one who does most of the heavy work around here. And even he has his issues. We're not getting any younger. We only started this 5 years ago, and we only moved to this homestead a year and a half ago, and it had no infrastructure or anything like that. We had to start our own garden, start the fencing for the animals and stuff. You know, he has arthritis, he has bad knees, a bad back, but a lot falls on him, and he picks up the slack. And I know I couldn't do this without him. So he does a lot of that. If I'm too tired at night, in the summer, I like to pretend I help more. I'll go out at night with him to put the animals away and that. But in the winter, he does most of it. And I probably couldn't have animals without him, because it's too much of a commitment where physically I wouldn't be able to do it. So I don't know of any other homesteading YouTubers that really talk about health issues or homesteading with health issues, but I was hoping that if I shared what I go through, our journey, and what I have to do or not do, if it helps anybody, or if anybody has the same issues and they have ideas that can help me, that was the purpose of sharing this video. And to also show you that as you watch some of our videos, if things look different and as I stumble around and do things not so gracefully, you'll see why. I also have a left ankle fracture that I've had for years that isn't healing, and the doctors aren't doing anything about it. So that's another reason why I'm not so graceful. But, you know, it's just how it is. And although I don't want fibromyalgia to be all about this channel, it is part of it, because that's the way things get done around here. That's the way I work. So things might look a bit different, or things will look a bit funny how things get done, but they get done. And that's how we work. It's part of our life. We don't give it a second thought. So things will look a bit funny, but that's how it is. I'm sharing all this with you today because fibromyalgia is something to take very seriously. If you know of anyone that has it, it robs you, obviously, of your physical health. It robs you and damages you of your emotional and mental health. It isolates you. It can make you bitter. you're angry, it can change you as a person. It can really do some damage both inside and out. And I'm hoping that whether you're homesteaders or not, if this can help anybody anywhere, whether you have it or you know someone that has it, that if it can change or help with your perspective of someone with an invisible chronic illness or an invisible disability, even if just one person, that would be huge, because it's so misunderstood and people don't believe you. That's the worst part. People just don't believe you. So I purposely went to the effort today to put on a little bit of makeup, brush my hair a bit, to show you that to look at me right now, you wouldn't know that anything's wrong with me. Nobody does. That I can look normal and sit here and no one would know anything's wrong with me. That's what fibromyalgia does. I can sit here totally in pain. I can put a big smile on my face, which I have the gift of doing, that nobody would know I suffer in pain. I can just flick a switch, and when people come to my door or anything like that, I can just turn it on while someone is here, and yet I'll be suffering the whole time. So I went to the effort today to show you that even though you can't see a physical disability, the disability is there. So it's taught me a lot in how not to judge people, how to have compassion for people, that I always had, but more so now. So I hope you share the same non-judgment with me as you see us go through this, because it won't always be pretty, but I wanted to share, and that it's a very serious topic for us, a very serious lifestyle for us, because it is very, very personal. It's painful beyond words, and it hurts inside and out. But we'd like you to join us along our journey. We do have fun. We have to make fun. We have to make times for laughing, or it's all way too serious and a downer. So we make fun, and we'd love for you to join us along the way. And videos won't always be regular, because it always depends on how I feel. If I'm doing good, videos will come. If I'm not, there might be a break in between, and that's all I can do. Promises are hard for me to keep for certain things like that, but I always, always try my best. So thank you, and until we're together again, take care.